Hi, I'm Robin Steinberg, your host for Say at High series, the National Critics' Choice online edition. Today I wish to welcome Mr. Ramachandran Rasu Naidu, who is the Executive Director of the National Book Development Council of Singapore, who is with me right now. And he's also the organizer of the Asian Festival of Children's Content 2012, running at the third year this year, right here in Singapore. Mr. Ramachandran, welcome to Say at Hyatt online show. And many have wondered how and why you have chosen to remain active even in your prime years, and what's your motivation that keeps you having a forward thinking and the innovation. What's the secret to living a long life and good health? It's amazing.
Yes, I think you always feel that you have not done enough. And throughout my career, you have been doing a lot of things, but there's always new things to be done. And suddenly it dawned upon me that children's program is an area that much needs to be done. And if you look at children in Asia, the educational level, and not only in Asia but other parts of developing countries, there's a great area and great need for activity in this particular area. And because I am very familiar with content for children, because of my background as a librarian, I chose to focus on developing children's content for children. And that keeps me going.
Amazing, and speaking about keeping going, what do you see the future trends of reading for children? What are your goals and kinds of solutions and programs, perhaps, that the National Book Development Council of Singapore has established and hope to establish in the next coming 5 years?
I think reading will always be the foundation of education, foundation of learning. There's no way you can minus reading from any activity. Despite the overwhelming technology, reading is still fundamental. I think that's why we're not stressing so much on the book, which is only a container of information. We're stressing on reading content and absorbing content in whatever media or whatever format they might be. And as this is what we are, this is our message, that the content is still the king. The format will disappear, as some formats have disappeared. So our emphasis is reading and emphasis on quality content, so that the reading becomes very meaningful and knowledgeable.
Amazing. And speaking about knowledge, what kind of future opportunities of learning to read for children? What's this happening in emerging economies and underdeveloped countries such as Africa and Indonesia?
Yes, I think what is happening is that there is great awareness of the need for technology, of the need to jump across the reading and jump into technology. I think that is wrong. I think reading is fundamental, and therefore I think what we need to emphasize is technology is fine. I think harness technology for your reading goals. And that is what I'm afraid of in developing countries, because so much stress is put in technology and little stress on content and the way content has been managed and the message has been managed for the audience that it is targeted at. So I think the important thing is management of content and literacy that will focus on reading. I think when we talk about literacy in the old days, we always talk about literacy in terms of reading the word, the written word. But I think now it's visual literacy, it's media literacy. It's a wider term. And this is what we want to stress, that the story might be one, but the manifestation of the story can be in different formats. And children, most of all, must learn how to handle this.
Amazing. And speaking about content, and the needs. How important is this event, the Asian Festival of Children's Content that's coming up in May, as an organizer and pioneer in leading this initiative for the past 3 years? How did you draw this inspiration from to lead in this area? And is your leadership skills and equipment consist a lifetime learning process, or is it built by institutional training background?
I think my training has been librarianship. In librarianship, you learn about materials, resources, content. And in our developing the library system in Singapore, we always felt the need to get content from all over the world. And that's what we did. But when it came to getting content of our own world and our own neighbors, we were challenged. And that made things very clear to me that there must be a decided, decisive effort to create content by the people, if not even by the people, at least from anybody else, but content that will be meaningful for people in Asia as such. I think the overwhelming content-rich Western world is dominating the content all over the world. I think this is fine. This is very good. I think what we have learned is almost from the Western world. What we want to do now is to also learn what we might have forgotten of the Western world, Eastern world, for example, and what the Western world is not stressing so much. So that is what we want to do. We want to search out in the Eastern traditions and customs and values and use them to develop content that will enrich the lives of Asia as well as the rest of the world.
Amazing. Is there anyone that inspired you to be a leader so far? I mean, you.
But I think there's no one person. I think I'm always inspired by motivational books, leaders who have risked many things. I think there can be leaders of various kinds. Leadership is not only need not be rich and politically very strong. A leader can be in any small community. A leader is somebody who takes the first step forward to do something. And I think in this particular area, I thought there was a need, and we took the first step. And now there are so many leaders in this area, and that's why I'm so happy that this movement is spreading and will spread on, and more leaders will develop in each of the countries of Asia, but also in other parts of the world. And this year, I'm very particularly happy that we are connected with South Africa, and South African writer and illustrator is coming here, and we will be inspired by what she's been doing in South Africa, as they will be inspired by what's happening in this part of the world. For example, there is a program in Sri Lanka that somebody is coming from Sri Lanka to come and talk about it here. So this is exchange of information across countries and across continents will be a great part of development of the festival.
Speaking about the great part of connections and festivities for this coming Asian Festival of Children's Content, is inspiration important to a leader like yourself? And what's your philosophy of leading, really?
Inspiration is very, very important. I think one has to be inspired, one has to have a goal, one has to aspire to do something more than oneself. I think one has to do something much more than one thinks he can do. And once you have that frame of mind, then you really go and achieve. Again, I think leaders inspire me. For example, Claire is a leader, and I'm inspired by her thoughts and her dedication. And I'm sure she's also inspired and impressed by my thoughts and my dedication. So I think it is a mutual mutual attraction, mutual inspiration that takes place all the time. Each one of us are leaders. You leading in this writing, you inspired me too. And the fact that you came all the way sometime last year to a truly festival in Singapore was something that I admired about. And I think all of us are filling in the small niches and thereby leading and creating a better society.
And speaking of creating a great society, a better society, especially the upcoming Asian Festival of Children's Content here in Singapore, could you give 3 points of lifetime advice for those who are aspiring to be in your footsteps?
In writing or in leadership?
In leadership, as well as writing.
I think the most important thing is, I think a leader should not expect any credit. I think you just lead for the sake of leader and you enjoy the work. I think credit doesn't come. If you look for credit and popularity, it is not there. Second, leaders should not shouldn't expect compensation as a natural part of leadership. Compensation might come, might not come. But if a leader can live an ordinary life and still lead, he must lead. So I think you first cannot get credit, you can expect credit. Second, you cannot expect compensation. And third, you must be dedicated to what you want to do. And only then, I think, you can achieve what you can achieve. And as far as writers are concerned, writers again want to only write and don't want to do anything else. I think in this present present society, writers must be promoters of their work. Writers must be like film stars promoting what they've written. And if nobody is promoting your work, then you have to promote it. And most often than not, writers withdraw and they think that all they need to do is writing and somebody else will do everything else, which doesn't work that way. I think writers must partner, must persuade others and promote together what they've written so that people will appreciate, people will read and people will come to know. Otherwise, writers will never be read.
And once again, writers, leaders, and those viewers right now at the National Critics' Choice, please don't forget to participate and log in on their website at Asian Festival of Children's Content right here in Singapore. And Mr. Ramachandran, once again, let me say thank you for joining us here at the Say at Hyatt at the National Critics' Choice online news. And once again, thank you for watching.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thanks. Wonderful. Thank you so much for your kindness.